Peace, family. What's going on? Hope all is well. This is me, Olaf Fame and the Oracle, coming to you live from Atlanta, GA. And it's always a pleasure to see you guys, to work with you guys. Shout out to all the family, all the Elay, Ashe University checking in. Shout out to House of Heru checking in. Shout out to everybody, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Today's video, I wanted to talk about this spiritual credit, right? As it applies to the spiritual world. And I'm going to give a perfect example to help you come into a little realization about this spiritual credit, right? Because we know currency is an energy. We know currency is used by the element of water, right? So what about, again, if you go back to the other videos when we already discussed the different currencies, right? So now we're going to talk about the credit aspect, right? And I'm gonna give you a perfect example to show you what I mean. All right, here we go. So, for example, I'm gonna use Ifa and example, and I'm gonna use Eshu. Okay. Now, a lot of people have been told to let's say do an offering, right, to Eshu, right, before you departure somewhere, before you go on a long adventure, right. And again, I'm just using this one example because it was very relevant on my comedic trip we went to here in the South, and I was rushing, man, and I didn't have time to do the proper sacrifice that I wanted to do, right? And I was like, oh, you know what? I need to make sacrifice. Now, it's not really. I kind of make that trip kind of frequent, so it wasn't really out of the country or out of but it was out of state. So usually, just if I go out of state, I go ahead and just still make the sacrifice, right? But I didn't, so I was like, Eshu, when I come back, I make sure I take care of you, right? And I say, boom. And I was like, man, I'm glad I got that spiritual credit, with spirit. Now, what do I mean by that? And I hope some people don't take this as, a joke or as, something I'm just, pulling out, But I say that to say that we have a form of spiritual credit, right? In spirit. Right? Like that's not uncommon. I'm just using that one example as the topic of conversation. You see what I'm saying? And that one example was very relevant because a lot of people have been told to, make a sacrifice before they travel. Or again, just in general, sometimes you might have you just might not have had a time for something right away. You know what I mean? And that type of energy. So he was like, hey, I'm going to spirit. I'm still going to come back and make, my petition, do what I said I was going to do. But I need spirit. I need you to move heaven and earth for me right now so I can come back. Right. So that is a form of spiritual credit. Right. Now think about that. That has to be built up. That energy in Ashe in relationship has to be built up with spirit, that deity you're working with, or that person you're working with. You see what I'm saying? It's still a form of spiritual currency. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to get you to realize. And even in Ifa, they call it Adada. Excuse me, I might not pronounce it the correct way, but Adada Rigi, right? But basically, what that means is you could say it's certain orikis you can say, and I have it in my lab. I'm still working on the language, right? But you basically, it's an incantation you can use, to even say, hey, spirit, at this time, I don't have much, because a lot of times people are not always able to afford to make offerings right away, afford to make ebos right away, so it's a form of a pack that if this work is get done by the Elay and the spirit, if they go ahead and take that work up front, right, then you have to reimburse, right? And based off your actions and character, right, going back to Iwa Pele, if you don't return that debt, then bad things happen to you. If you do return that debt, good things happen to you. Now, because of good things, you kept your word, your power of ashe, of the speak, of the mouth increases, your confidence, your integrity, and again, your accountability and your credibility with your community. You see what I'm saying? So it is a form of spiritual credit. You see what I'm saying? You see the play I'm going? Because why is it that we so conscious, but we can understand that, but we can't understand the regular credit system, right? Or vice versa. We can understand the regular credit system, but not understand spiritual credit system. You see what I'm saying? It's both. You got to understand them both. So we got to go back and do some more. And I even do that class again, breaking down the spiritual currencies, right? And we're going to even start breaking down the quadrants in the spiritual industry. Ooh, yes. So guys, there's a lot of things happening at Ashe University. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop it in the chat. And let me know what you think about this topic. Who's out there that's been through some of those experiences, and I know I'm not the only one. I'm just bringing it as a lecture, right? Because it's been many people that have to make pacts with spirit, you know what I'm saying? And you got a certain amount of time to make that payment back. You see what I'm saying? It's a different form. So the fact that even somebody can even get that for you is amazing. You know what I mean? And and again, and that's a very universal concept. You know what I mean? So this concept of credit is a real thing, right? So again, whether we're talking about the system or in spirit, credit is a principle. It's a wealth principle that goes back to the wealth deity, IJ. And if you like more financial literacy, you can visit my website, right? Because I'm working with IJ, powered by Nove. My services is IJ Wealth Services, right? Powered by Nove Financial Services, where we help people grow financially, right? And guess what? You can do all this information, no money down. Stay tuned for no money down initiations, right? No money down ceremonies, no money down Reiki sessions. If you have a tour or retreat you want to do and complete, it can all get done, no money down. And this is the first time you're hearing it live with me, Olafemi the Oracle, representing for Pillar of Light, Yoruba Temple, okay? Representing for Atlanta, Ashe University, representing for Ogun and all the Orisha, all the Atlanta Awos and Iyas and all the Omos. Shout out to all paths and pantheons and the indigenous traditions representing you. Ashe, Ashe, namaste.